Barcelona steadied the ship at the weekend. Neymar assisted, but he's been lacking in the goal department. This is a question that's been asked to him, to Barcelona superstars as well, Messi, Suarez. They're asking what is happening with Neymar, and this directly plays into a clip that you might see soon about how everything is quantifiable. Now, this was just the case usually with Ronaldo and Messi because they were going head-to-head, but ever since Neymar, Suarez and Messi set forward an remarkable precedent in their first couple of seasons, they're going to be held accountable to that. And every year, if the stats dip a little bit, Neymar's going, oh, what's going on with Neymar? What's going on with him? But this year, it seems like there's a little bit more substance. He's not being as fluent. And I say that in meaning that he's not looking as comfortable in the games that I've watched him, and he hasn't contributed as many goals. He's still assisting to a great magnitude, and he's still assisting his team. But he had this to say when he was asked about why he was not scoring as much this season. It's difficult when you're not scoring, especially when you're a forward, where the expectations are high, he said in an interview with Red Bull. So yes, it's bad, it's annoying, but it's not my biggest worry. I concentrate on winning matches. It doesn't matter if it's me or a teammate that scores.
So this kind of plays into like two separate schools of thought when it comes to strikers, forwards, and world football. You have an argument that I think both of these are completely sound, valid arguments too. You have one that says you're a forward / a striker. Your job, in the end, put the ball in the back of the net. You should be selfish, right? Some strikers need to be selfish to actually make their team better. I think Zlatan and Ronaldo are two guys that fit that mold. And then you have a different school of thought, which I think occurs when you get a fundamentally devastating front three that includes such high talent on every end of the spectrum with Suarez, Messi, and Neymar, that maybe getting the ball in the back of the net might be frustrating, but then you have to look, like you said, at what it actually looks like in motion. It's actually a difficult conversation to have because Neymar's goals are not quantifiable this year as compared to last year, but he did set the Champions League assist record. Of course, that comes with a little sub-bullet point. You play with Messi and Suarez. If you're going to pick somebody to set an assist record, pick any one of those three. You probably have a good shot. However, he's also hungry. Some of his other quotes from the Red Bull interview and from ESPN FC were that they're hungry for the La Liga title. They're 1 point back, even though they're 2 games more played. Yeah. So they're upwards of 7 points back, or upwards of 5, or upwards of 1. Yeah. Barring a collapse. And Neymar has a very short memory, and he said, in this part, a good short memory, saying we were up 12 points last season, and we hobbled across. We won by 1, but he's hungry for it. So I think this is an interesting, let's take our toll on Neymar. He's 25 years old now. Is this a fluidity that's going to change as we get into the Champions League groups, round of 16, or are we going to see this Neymar for the rest of the season?
You made a brilliant point early on in the start, and it's that when you play with those other guys, your touches are going to be limited. Your chances are going to be limited. If this is a conversation that we're having with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Luis Suarez, Robert Lewandowski, I would even say Ronaldo, because I'll get into why he's different and why Messi's different. Karim Benzema, strikers that play in the centre that are there to put the ball in the back of the net.
That's right.
Their role isn't to go in there and to contribute the goals as remarkably as you're expecting them to do. But what Neymar in this question is, and which I think we're both kind of toying around with, is this is a result of Ronaldo and Messi. It's always going to be a result of Ronaldo and Messi. This conversation never used to happen. Look at someone like Neymar. He plays a very similar role, let's say 5-6 years ago, to that of Ronaldinho, right? Playing out in the wide left. Ronaldinho was never questioned for how many goals he scored in a season. He would score goals because he was phenomenal. But if Ronaldinho didn't score in a few games and was still contributing with assists and a remarkable amount of talent and contributing to the team, no one would even blink an eye. They wouldn't be like, he's on a goal drought. He's clearly something wrong with that team. But when you enter Ronaldo and Messi into the equation and they're playing in different positions, not traditionally strikers, but they are coming into those positions. Ronaldo's doing it a little bit more so now. But even when you look 3 or 4 years back, he was playing in the exact same position technically as Neymar was in wide left. But when you score that amount of goals and Messi scores that amount of goals, you're expected to play to that level. And I think that's an unfair expectation for someone like that.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. When three-headed monster, Suarez, MSN, Messi, Neymar, Messi, Suarez, Neymar. So it was about 18 months ago, God, we've been here for 3 years?
Yes.
Okay, so we have some clips to look back on. It's about 2.5 years ago we started discussing, MSN and what they can be together when Suarez came over. And then we saw them hit full form, and they're scoring, and the numbers are just, they're so quantifiable, they're unquantifiable. Like, there's no chart on earth that was able to show what they were doing. So they set the mark so damn high that the mark that even Neymar's at now, setting an assist record for the Champions League and even his goals for this season, it just appears because of that drop-off when it's still playing, I'm sure, at a level that an elite level. The other question I have, I guess, with Neymar is there any doubt in your mind that if Neymar was the Aguero to Manchester City or the Coutinho to Liverpool, that he'd be getting all the touches and he'd be transforming those into goals? Premier League's a different league, but Lewandowski and Bayern. There you go, for Brazil.
He's the man who they looked at. He scores a great amount of goals, record breaker at Brazil as well. So, yeah, when you have that amount of touches, you're expected to deliver, right? If he was to... And I think that in this system, he had to make a mature decision to understand that, like, when Messi was out injured, remember, when Neymar and Suarez, he was scoring...
They were fine.
He was scoring ridiculously well, right? So there is a case to be said there, as we mentioned in basketball, that when the best players are on the field, other players need to take somewhat of a back seat.
You have to.
If it benefits the team in the long run, Neymar won't give two shits, right? So you look at them last season, right? They had all those goals at certain points of the season. They felt that last season was somewhat of a failure. They never came away with the Champions League. They won La Liga, so great job there.
Right.
But if you're limiting your touches and your team overall is playing better, then it's not going to matter at the end of the season if you're able to back it up with the accolades. As I will go back and reiterate, it's just a repercussion of the system in which we try to categorize a player based on what other people have been doing and what other people now have set as a precedent. When Ronaldo and Messi should always be separate to the equation. They are in their own world. That's what people really need to understand. Like, there was a clip that I believe I did not long ago. I think it was either Football Republic or 120. It was like, who's going to be the next Ronaldo and Messi?
Can we just enjoy the Ronaldo and Messi for now, though?
No, I don't see anyone at the moment who's going to be that. Not Suarez.
Isn't
not
Freddie
Griezmann,
Adu
not
like
Hazard.
only 20?
Freddie Adu maybe will make his way back. He's still getting to his potential. So yeah, like Neymar is Neymar. He is in a similar position to what Ronaldinho was. But when Ronaldinho was doing it, Messi wasn't in his prime. So Ronaldinho was the man that they looked at. And again, you just need to look at those examples as he just wasn't looked at in the same scrutiny that Neymar is because of what's around him. Whereas if Neymar's assisting, he assisted the first goal again. He's got a remarkable level of assists this year. He'll admit to himself he wants to score more goals. He's got that striker's instinct. That's not a means to say that he's not doing well. It just means that he needs to understand that his role is a little bit different now that Barcelona are going through now into maybe like 2 or 3 years with these guys up top. They've got to find a way that it works in order to get victories. That's all that matters.
You brought up when Messi wasn't there, which spawned my favorite reaction of all time because they played well. They won games.
Yes.
Does Barcelona need Messi?
I remember it.
It's such a great take. And by the way, the ones who buy into that, like, good for you. Like, we need martyrs in sports media. And my friend, you are jumping on a grenade for the rest of us.
I just don't know, like, what do you do? You just, like, switch off your head and just be like, again, like, I'll make the reference. You just get the Men in Black guy to blank your memory, and then you come into it looking at face value. You see a result, and you're like, maybe they don't.
I love that movie. When they go, we have to throw the scene in now. When they go, and I think it's Men in Black 1, they go into the apartment, right, and the family's just watching TV, and they open up the back of the kitchen, and it's got like all the guns and all the weapons and all that kind of stuff, and the family turns and they're like, and then they finally go back. You saw nothing, and they flash, and they're just sitting there watching their happy cartoon.
And you will now forget this clip. Mary will take us out, and we'll come back and never talk about Neymar in this light ever again.